Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Ben here, and welcome to my most anticipated games coming in 2024. In my last video, we talked about my favorite games of 2023, but now I'm ready to look to the future. Just a couple quick gaming announcement updates that really stuck out to me and I'm excited for. Until Dawn, which is one of my favorite horror games, is being remade for the PS5 and PC. There's also another remake coming, which is Brother: A Tale of Two Sons. Death Stranding 2, which is actually a game I had on this countdown list initially, ended up getting like a showcase and a release date for 2025. So that won't be on this list, but holy shit, that looks good. Hades 2, I wanted to include in this list also, but from what I could tell, the game is only going to be in early access this year. And I think I just want to wait for an official release date on that one. In my 2020 Game of the Year list, it came in at number 2. So I'm really excited for this one, and I'll patiently wait for them to finish the full product. And the final update for a game that could have been thrown in this list was Hollow Knight Silksong. We haven't gotten any new information on this game in quite a while. The last update was from Matthew Griffin on Twitter. Since they haven't really teased that it's going to come out in 2024 in a while, I'm going to exclude it from the list. But when that comes out, I'll be there day one for sure. Now, with that said and done, let's get into my most anticipated games coming in 2024. I hope you guys enjoy.
Locations impacted in sectors down there.
Starting off this list at number 10 is a brand new driving survival game called Pacific Drive. The game is set in a Pacific Northwest where the players will need to scavenge for resources and beef up their cars and try and escape the Olympic exclusion zone. Some of these environments really take a toll on your car, so looting and upgrading seems like a vital aspect of the gameplay. Ever since I played Road 96 in 2022, where the player travels across the country and tries to escape the United States, I've been really wanting this kind of game with a much darker tone. Well, I think Pacific Drive is going to deliver that this year. Its environments are dark and moody, and the atmosphere seems really creepy at times. Similar to something like Mad Max, you'll be upgrading your vehicle to withstand as much shit as possible. And you'll really want to take care of your car because it's just you and the car out here. And I'll pretty much play any game that's set in the Pacific Northwest because it's my all-time favorite setting of any game ever. So I'm all in when Pacific Drive hits the road on February 22nd, 2024. Our second game on the list, and coming from the Team Ninja guys, is a new open-world action RPG called Rise of Ronin. Rise of Ronin is set in a 19th century Japan at the end of the Shogunate era, where you play as a lone Ronin who will shape the very fabric of history with his decisions. And along with the story, this game is said to have a really deep combat system, where the fights seem up close and personal, with one-on-one duels that require you to attack and parry your enemies to succeed. The gameplay looks like if you combine Neo with a closer-up perspective like Ghost of Tsushima. They also showed off the use of some guns with some really brutal finishers. I'm definitely going to give this one a chance because I love the Neo games, so I'm all in on this one. Rise of Ronin is set to release next month on March 22nd, 2024.
Varric! Harold!
Next up is probably the most graphically impressive game on the list, Senua's Saga: Hellblade 2. This game is looking to take everything from the first game and take it to the next level. The main thing I remember from the first game was how impressive the audio was. It was a game you literally had to play with headphones because they implemented these voices into the game where they'd whisper in your ear. Because Senua is a woman that suffers from psychosis. After Senua's home village was destroyed and her lover was killed, the voices started in her head, and that's how the first game started. In the second game, she's taken the fight directly back to those Vikings, which sounds really cool. I'm also really looking forward to the music because based on their performance Ninja Theory gave at the Game Awards, it's probably going to be an amazing soundtrack. We got about 3.5 months left to wait, but Senua's Saga releases on May 21st, 2024. slicing its way into the countdown at number 7 is an upcoming story-driven action game called Stellar Blade. Stellar Blade puts you in the shoes of Eve, where you are on a mission to destroy a mysterious enemy race known as Natiba. In the game, the Natiba have forced the human race off of Earth, and it's up to Eve to destroy the Natiba elders and take the world back. Stellar Blade looks to have some of the best gameplay of the year with its stylized action and epic animations. I thought the combat in this was so cool, like just the way she had blocked things and everything just looks so stylized. And that tunnel sequence they showed off in the trailer looks so cool. I'm definitely looking forward to playing that part. They also showed off your character Eve in a bunch of different outfits. It seemed like she had a different outfit for every scene change. Doesn't it feel good to have hot chicks in gaming again? Seems like game companies are starting to not give a shit what people think. I'd love to see Anita Sarkeesian's face when watching this trailer. I'll definitely be staring at Eve's ass. Playing the game when it launches here in a couple months on April 26, 2024.
I'll keep through all time.
Company command! This is first platoon! We've lost the square! We can't hold it!
Coming in at number 6, and the manliest game on this list, is Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2. I actually had this in my last most anticipated video, but the game ended up getting pushed back to 2024, so here we are. I will say when I made that video last year, I asked you guys if I needed to play the first game before playing the second game, and a lot of you guys said yes, I should play the first game. So guess what? I went and bought a copy for my Xbox 360 and beat it just a couple weeks ago. And I just want to say thank you guys for that recommendation, because what a badass game, man. I thought the game still held up extremely well after all these years, and I love the main character, Captain Titus. Dude is a freaking beast, man. The game is action-packed with tons of weapons and a jetpack that makes you feel like a god. And on top of that, the scale of the environments and the battles are impressive for a game that came out 13 years ago. And later this year, Space Marine 2 is looking to up the ante even more. In the trailers, the environments look way bigger and the detail of those environments look amazing. I really can't wait to see how they update the gameplay and what kind of weapons they'll add. And the first game had a really cool story too. I like the way it ended. So I can't wait to hop back into this world with Titus again. Space Marine 2 releases on September 9th, 2024. I honestly don't know if this game is actually going to come out in 2024, but I can't leave it off the list. It's a game I constantly think about and search for updates on. Replaced is a 2.5D sci-fi action platformer where you play as an AI named Reach. I'd say right along with Owlboy, this game has probably the best looking pixel graphics I've ever seen, and nothing since it's been shown off has really topped it. So I just really want to experience it, you know? And the alternate dystopian 1980s setting seems so cool, but this has got to be the year, right? CodeSync's latest update was back in September 2023, which said the game was being delayed to 2024. So here's to hoping they don't have to replace that post with a new one later this year. Sneaking its way into the countdown, and the third installment for one of my favorite franchises in gaming is Little Nightmares 3. Not only was Little Nightmares 2 one of the best sequels of all time, it had one of the best stories and endings of all time. So the anticipation for how they followed this game up is really high. My only concern and why it's not higher on the list is because the developer of the game changed on this one. Tarsier Studios is passing off development to Supermassive Games, who isn't like a slouch or anything. They make actually really good games. I love The Quarry and Until Dawn. But it's just that unknown risk that I'm not willing to put it up towards the top. In Little Nightmares 3, you'll be playing as two brand new characters named Low and Alone, which from my lore research doesn't seem that familiar. Mono and Six came from a set of 6 little children, so I assume the new characters would be from those 6, or we would see Mono and Six back. But these two characters must be brand new. The game looks to have some returning enemies as well, like those big fat people that just love to eat stuff, but also has some new haunting ones as well. That giant baby looks frightening. I really can't wait to play this game with my daughter because the second game is her all-time favorite game to watch me play. We haven't got a release date on this game yet, but they still are labeling it for sometime in 2024. I'd say Black Myth Wukong is definitely one of the most exciting Souls-like RPGs to be announced in the past couple years. It's a game that's looking to set itself apart with its setting, characters, and enemy designs. Especially the enemy designs. Every time I see a new trailer for this game, the enemy designs just stick out to me and blow me away. I seriously can't wait to see and fight all these characters. In this game, you play as a monkey who's acquired supernatural powers, and the game is said to be based on a 16th century novel called Journey to the West. The game looks to have similar mobility to something like Elden Ring or Sekiro, where they showed off the character being able to jump around. And based on the trailers, this game is looking to be definitely one of the best looking games of the year. It's been a long time coming, but I have a feeling it's going to be worth the wait. The game releases on August 20th, 2024.
Oh, sweet destiny.
We are less than a week away from Banishers Ghost of New Eden coming out, and I seriously can't wait. I was pretty sad when it didn't come out last year, but I think it's a blessing in disguise. I want this game to be as good as possible. The game's art style and story premise have me really excited. I just love the look of this game. The game takes place in the year of 1695 in a city of New Eden, where you play as Red and his ghostly companion Antia, where a community of settlers are being plagued by a haunting curse. And as a Banisher, it's going to be your job to investigate the sources of evil, and then decide the fate of many of the characters throughout the game. It's yet to be seen how much impact those story decisions will make on the whole narrative, but we're going to find out really soon when the game releases on February 13th, 2024.
It takes a brave man to walk these wilds alone.
I'm not alone.
What happened to this place?
It was Sephiroth.
It can't be.
Coming in at number 1 for my most anticipated game this year is Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. If you guys have watched my channel for a couple years, you'll know I'm really new to the Final Fantasy series. I've only played 2 Final Fantasy games, 7 Remake and Final Fantasy 16, and I love both of them. But after playing 7 Remake in 2020, I finally understood what everyone felt like back in 1997. The characters became some of my favorite in gaming. And then there's the music, which to this day is probably in my top 10 soundtracks of all time. So my anticipation for this game is getting pretty ridiculous. So far, they've shown off the massive open world and lots of new locations. Rebirth is bringing you and the crew back together as you break loose from Midgar. I'm really excited to explore things like the Haunted Hotel. We won't have long to wait because this game is coming out at the end of this month on February 29th, 2024. And that's why Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is my most anticipated game coming in 2024. I hope that was fun getting into my head and seeing what games I'm really hyped about. Guess we'll have to see which games actually turn out to be pretty good this year. In my most anticipated list last year, only 2 of the games on my list ended up being really good in my opinion. And 4 of them actually got delayed, so kind of bad luck in my choices. But I guess we'll just have to see which ones become like actually good this year. With that said, thank you guys for watching, and until next time, stay in the light, my friends. Later.